This is your brain. This is drugs. This is your brain on drugs.
David, you okay to drive?
Yeah, I only had a couple drinks. I'm fine.
Keys can be a weapon. A few drinks can make you a killer.
Every cigarette is doing you damage. This is part of an aorta, the main artery from the heart. Smoking makes arterioles sticky and collect dangerous fatty deposits. This much was found stuck to the aorta wall of a smoker, age 32.
I'm coming out.
We're coming out
for equal rights.
Denying a minority the same rights you were born with
is hate.
No hate.
No hate.
No hate.
Each one of those spots, PSAs, represents a movement that fundamentally changed the dialogue in this country. Perceptions, laws, they changed either as a result of those ads or at least in concert with them. Now, we find ourselves at what possibly could be a watershed moment, maybe, maybe not, in the national conversation about guns. God knows we've said this about prior tragedies and nothing really changed. So how will the need for gun control be sold to the American public and our politicians? And guys, I think if you look at who has been brought into the dialogue, I think it's interesting that they've thought about the optics, the White House, who've been pretty good about this, certainly in the campaign. So let's think about it. I've heard from law enforcement. I've heard from victims. I've already seen some ads go out. Bloomberg's been brought out. Obviously, he's got a deep checkbook, but we've heard from mayors in troubled cities. I heard General McChrystal, who's nobody's going to call some bleeding heart here, saying they belong in a battlefield, not on the streets of America. And they're going after even the entertainment industry a little bit, so they're saying that this is a composite kind of thing. Scott, you've had to market tough candidates that difficult to sell and also some tough ideas. If they thought of this as a marketing campaign in concert with legislation, who's the best messenger and what's the best message?
I think the law enforcement message is the right message, and I think the hunter message, those gun rights folks who get that there is something that our forefathers protected that is way beyond what is being protected now. And the time has come for our rights to be protected, but to limit the ability to harm others.
I look at what's moved the needle in the past, and really the only things that have moved the needle have been the horrific tragedies. It was only after, was it Columbine that we got the assault weapons ban, or was it
I think 94, I don't remember.
I don't know if it was Columbine or something, or it might have been Virginia. I'm getting them. Yeah. See, it's confusing, and it's only after Newtown that we got this again. I think you have to take people and put them in those scenes. Put them. You got to show the damage. You know, we haven't seen any of the. I hate to do this, but
show the little white caskets.
Show the pictures of the bodies. Show the screaming of the families.
You know, Dom, I happen to agree with Andrew, but I'll say one thing. When I hear Bloomberg talk about it, I happen to agree with everything he says, but part of me just shudders a little bit because nobody wants to hear a New York City mayor in Arkansas tell you what to do about your guns. To me, the messenger here is important, and it can't be some wimpy guy. I'm not saying the mayor is, but it's got to be somebody that doesn't hate guns, that's not from New York City or from L.A., and, you know...
I'm laughing because guess what? In certain parts of the country, people will find this hard to believe, but if they even hear that this person doing the talking is from New York, they don't want to hear what you have to say. You're from Los Angeles, folks in Montana, I don't want to hear what you have to say. You want to take my guns. But if you put a mother up there, you hire somebody like Scott, who's very good with messaging on this, and you put, like Bloomberg did do with one of those ads, and you put a crying mother piggybacking on what Andrew just said, and I would not want to do it if it was my child, but and you show some of those coffins in an ad and show some of the tears, and you have, like sort of what the woman in Harlem did, you have 100 mothers, not from predominantly urban areas, but from areas like Connecticut. Go follow the NRA at their events, and you do this 4 or 5 times, I guarantee you the NRA will back up a little bit.
Richard, there's one other thing that we notice about our clients, thank you for that compliment, but there's something that we really recognize in urban areas that we represent, is for them that tragedy isn't such an anomaly. For too many of our communities, the sound of automatic weapons fire in the night is a common occurrence.
Well,
Those
I'm glad you're
folks
saying
don't-
it, Scott, as opposed to me saying it. But you already know what the folks that want their guns. You already know what they think about urban violence. I mean, I don't have to say.
No,
it.
no, no, no. But I do know,
we're
but
going
there
in
are-
the same place.
But there are guys like District Attorney Hines who are doing these sophisticated programs of gun buybacks and letting people get.
I will say one thing that shocked me. I mean, so much has, but when a cop once held up, remember when Comey, the police chief in Jersey City, after 3 of his cops got shot, and he said, enough. And you look at this guy, big, beefy guy, and I defied any gun right guy to tell him to shut up, right? And you heard him. But when they hold up a vest and say, they sell bullets that go through the vests of cops who come into your house to protect you. What's going on here? They're outgunning our guys in the streets of America. That kind of thing, along with reaching the moms in this country, right? I think gets there. All right, we're going to obviously keep coming back to this issue, but when we come back after the break, we're going to switch gears, and if you talk about moms, they're having second thoughts about letting their kids play football. And a lot of it has to do with some new findings indicating in the latest situation that the late star Junior Seau, one of the best linebackers of the recent generation, severely brain damaged, a problem that could have ultimately led to his death, a death where he literally pointed a rifle to his chest. Is it time for the NFL to consider new safety measures, or maybe even just as daunting for the league and for football up and down, from youth football through college to the pros? Can they get insurance anymore? We'll talk about that after this.